Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss stories full of betrayal, shocking twists, and lessons in emotional justice. Now let's get into today's story. My name is Alex, and I never imagined that a single evening would turn into a test of patience, pride, and self-respect. For years, I had believed in trust, respect, and fairness in my marriage with Sarah. We had shared dreams, routines, and moments of laughter. But beneath the surface, something had shifted. I had started noticing subtle signs of disregard, small moments where my opinions were ignored, and my feelings dismissed. I had hoped things would improve, but tonight would reveal just how far she was willing to go to humiliate me. It all began at a dinner party, an event hosted by one of Sarah's close friends. The room was filled with laughter, music, and chatter. I tried to enjoy myself, making polite conversation and quietly sipping my drink, but Sarah seemed intent on making me the center of ridicule. With a smile that didn't reach her eyes, she whispered loud enough for the people near us to hear. Alex wouldn't know how to handle this if his life depended on it. A few friends laughed, glancing at me with feigned amusement. I felt my chest tighten, the embarrassment bubbling beneath the surface. For a moment I wanted to snap, to yell, to defend myself in front of everyone. But I realized that reacting impulsively would only validate her attempt to humiliate me. Instead, I took a slow breath, keeping my composure. I had learned that the most powerful response isn't anger, it's control. Her words continued, dripping with sarcasm and mockery. Honestly, he's always so clueless, she added, making a sweeping gesture as if demonstrating my incompetence. The laughter around us grew, and I could see the smug satisfaction in her friends' faces. They thought they had orchestrated the perfect moment to make me appear weak, to diminish me in public. But they didn't understand that I had been preparing for moments like this, silently observing, calculating, and waiting for the right time to respond, not with rashness but with undeniable clarity. I leaned back slightly in my chair, letting the laughter and mockery wash over me without a single flinch. Silence, or at least controlled calm, has a strange way of making people uncomfortable. Sarah's smirk faltered slightly when she noticed that her attempt to provoke me had failed. I let the moment stretch, letting every second speak volumes about my patience, my self-respect, and the calm power I wielded simply by remaining composed. I stood up slowly, casually straightening my jacket as if nothing had happened, letting the room's attention shift naturally toward me. "Sarah," I said, my voice calm but carrying a quiet authority, "it seems you think humiliating me in front of our friends is entertaining. But I want everyone here to understand something important." I let my gaze sweep across the group, pausing on her smug friends, ensuring they felt the weight of what I was about to say. "You may laugh at me, mock me, and try to belittle me," I continued, my tone measured and deliberate. "But respect isn't something you take lightly. It's not given based on convenience or charm. It's earned, and it can't be manipulated through embarrassment or humiliation." The room fell silent, the previous laughter dying as everyone sensed the seriousness in my words. Sarah opened her mouth, trying to interrupt, but I raised a hand gently. "Tonight isn't about me defending myself. It's about demonstrating that attempts to belittle someone only reveal the character of the person doing it, not the one being targeted." I paused, letting my words sink in. Her friends shifted uncomfortably, realizing that their support of her mockery had backfired. What they had intended as a joke had turned into a lesson in humility. I leaned in slightly, keeping my voice calm yet firm. "I have tolerated jokes, disrespect, and dismissive behavior for a long time. I have been patient and understanding. But there is a line, Sarah, and tonight you crossed it in front of everyone. And the world has a funny way of teaching lessons when they are most needed." Her smirk faltered entirely, replaced by a flicker of guilt. I could see it. She had underestimated me, thinking my silence meant weakness, when in reality it had been strategic patience. Her friends, sensing the shift, avoided my gaze. The smugness in the room evaporated as they realized I had regained control, not through confrontation, but through composure and clarity. Sarah's previous confidence, bolstered by the group's agreement, was crumbling. My calm, deliberate response had flipped the dynamic entirely. I was no longer the target but the authority. I straightened up fully, giving the room one final look. "Respect is the foundation of any relationship, friendship, or family," I said. "Humiliation, arrogance, or mockery only erode it." Let this be a reminder that words and actions have consequences, especially when they are meant to demean someone else. Sarah's face had turned pale, her confident smirk completely gone. For the first time, I saw the realization settle in. Mockery, arrogance, and attempts to embarrass me in front of others could not diminish my self-respect. Her friends, too, sat quietly, sensing that the lesson I had delivered wasn't up for debate or dismissal. The room was filled with a heavy silence, the kind that makes people reflect on their actions without needing any further words. I took a slow, deliberate step toward the door, my movements calm but commanding attention. "This isn't about winning an argument," I said, my eyes meeting Sarah's. "It's about understanding that respect is the cornerstone of any relationship. If it's absent, the rest becomes meaningless. And tonight, you taught everyone in this room exactly what happens when arrogance and mockery replace it." Her lips quivered but no words came out. I knew she wanted to respond, to regain some control, but my presence and composed authority had already shifted the power dynamic. The lesson wasn't harsh, it was simple and undeniable. True strength is shown through calm resolve, dignity, and self-respect, not through loud words or attempts to dominate others with humiliation. I glanced briefly at her friends, who now looked ashamed and regretful, understanding that their laughter had only amplified the lesson rather than undermined it. The dynamic had changed entirely. What was meant to embarrass me had instead highlighted the importance of respect and the consequences of underestimating someone's patience and composure. Finally, I turned toward the door, my coat in hand. "Remember this evening," I said quietly but firmly, "because humiliation may feel fun in the moment, but it always has consequences. And people who respect themselves, their boundaries, and their values, they don't need to fight to be heard. They simply show the difference through their actions." With that, I walked out, leaving a room full of stunned faces behind. The laughter, the mockery, and the arrogance had vanished, replaced by reflection, silence, and a subtle understanding that I had not only defended my dignity but taught a life lesson that would not soon be forgotten. Stepping outside, a sense of calm and liberation washed over me. For years, I had allowed small disrespectful actions to chip away at my confidence, but tonight, I reclaimed control, proving that composure, clarity, and unwavering self-respect always speak louder than any humiliation or insult. For the first time in a long while, I smiled, not because I had won an argument but because I had honored myself, and that was the victory that mattered most.